My mom is here with me today, and she's going to show us how to make Choorma Ladoo. Yes, what is it?
Choorma Ladoo.
Choorma Ladoo. And these are some of the best ladoos in my opinion. When do we eat these, Ma?
This is on a special occasion, while we have a marriage or some kind of a party.
Lagan na ladoo, Choorma Ladoo,
Lagan na ladoo, Choorma Ladoo. Then some party or on auspicious days like a Diwali.
My mom is making these for Ganesh Chaturthi this year, right?
Yes, Ganesh Chaturthi is very near and we are going to offer this ladoo to Ganesh.
Okay, so there they are. And let us show you how to make them. Or actually, let my mom show you how to make them.
We're both going to show you how to make.
Yes. I'll start by adding the bhakri no lot. This is whole wheat flour. It's ground a little bit more coarsely than regular atta, and ideally you want to use bhakri no lot for these Choorma Ladoo. You can get that at any Indian store. To that, we're going to add almond flour. My mom prefers to grind her own. That's a little bit more coarsely ground than store-bought almond flour, but I think store-bought almond flour will work just fine as well. And then we add some rava or semolina. This is optional. You don't have to add it, but in case your flour is too fine, the rava will help make sure that there is enough coarseness to get the right texture. I don't always add the rava, and I actually feel like it tastes better without the rava, but it is completely optional, and I would recommend adding it, especially if you're not able to find bhakri no lot. Okay, mix that all together. So now that we have our dry flours all mixed together, you want to use just a little bit of water to make dough out of just little handfuls, little fistfuls of the flour. You work in little sections on your plate or large bowl and just make enough dough so that it fits onto your palm. Just make one little dough ball, and then you want to shape it like this. So you basically want to shape it into a oblong and then create a little divot in the center. And you want to make sure it is extremely firm and that the dough is not soft at all, so that the center cooks evenly when we are frying. Do that with all of the dry flour, making little bits of dough at a time and shaping them. And then we're going to fry. We're frying, you can use ghee or oil to fry. I like to use mostly oil and add a few tablespoons of ghee to get that ghee flavor without having to use up all my ghee for a one-time food item. Heat the oil to about 300 degrees and cook in batches. You can add 3 to 4 of these muthiyas at a time to the frying oil, depending on how wide and how large your pan is. 3 to 4 is what works for me. And cook each batch for about 12 to 15 minutes until it is very nice and deep golden. And once that is done, you can let them cool for a little bit and break up each of those muthiyas into smaller pieces. You can see that all of these muthiya are cooked all the way through. And once that is done, transfer them to a food processor. You can also grind them in a mortar and pestle if you have the patience. That is how it was done in the olden days, but I like to use my food processor. You don't want to get it too fine. Pulse and then use a colander with large holes to sift the flour through, and then we'll transfer the rest of it back into the food processor and continue this process a few times until all of the muthiya have been ground into a powder and sifted through. Make sure you're not using a fine mesh sifter. Make sure it is a wide mesh sifter. The last of it, I just couldn't get it fine enough in my food processor, so I transferred it to my spice grinder, and that worked. Okay, to that, add some cardamom and some nutmeg. Some freshly ground nutmeg is always best. Give that a good mix. And then now we're going to create a ghee and gur combination. This is something that my mom likes to do to make sure that all of the gur can be incorporated perfectly into the ladoo. And so just heat up your ghee a little bit and melt all the gur. You're not heating the gur, you're not toasting it, you're just melting it. And then add that mixture to your flour and give it a nice mix. Okay, and here is my mom testing to see if it needs any extra ghee. Sometimes if it feels a little dry, you can add a couple of tablespoons of ghee. And the way to test it is to shape it into a circle and then slam it down onto a flat surface. And if it doesn't break, then it is perfect. And this is also the shape of the Choorma Ladoo. They have one flat end. I don't add all the ghee to the gore because that makes sure that we don't end up with too much liquid for our flour, leaving a little bit of ghee so that you can adjust the consistency. And then there is my dad and my son helping to make some ladoo. This is a family affair, so we are all shaping our ladoo right now. And so that's it. So we made them kind of small. When I was a kid, they would be ginormous, like really huge Choorma Ladoo, right? Yeah. But we make them small because this is more edible. You can have a few bites and you don't feel gross. So, okay, you want to try?
Sure.
Okay, let's split it. Okay.
Good
That's
ladoo.
really good. So good.
Good ladoo.
That's really good. My mom's recipe is a little bit different. She uses almond flour. And she also adds nutmeg, which I know a lot of people don't. But
Some people, instead of jaggery, they use sugar too.
okay, we're using jaggery. Okay, well, there you have it. Choorma Ladoo.
Choorma Ladoo.